Welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, traffic ticketing surge and road safety. And in the second watch, cremation concerns. For our social media question, we ask, are you okay with the practice of cremation? Tell us why. We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp, 876-997-3125, using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
All right, good morning. Today's I quote says, "Death is not the end of life. It is the beginning of an eternal journey." This one is from Debasish Murder.
Okay. All right. Good morning, Jokal.
Good morning.
Yeah, interesting quote there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, profound. The first watch after this break.
You know what's sweet? The new Pack Sweet Living Promotion. Win great prizes. Living room set, or bedroom set, or kitchen appliance set, plus 2 consolation prizes of AC units. Send in 5 new pack labels or receipts. Labels must belong to at least the new pack canned beans or peas, new pack ketchup, and new pack oil categories. Fill out the tagline, new pack, more than just value. Place your entry in one of the drop boxes at participating outlets. Enter by mail or online at newpackjamaica.com. Time for Live Sweet. Enter the new Pack Sweet Living Promotion, July 13th to September 6th. See the press for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Forget ordinary, think Liqui-Moly. Get a 15% discount on all Liqui-Moly oils and additives from April 25th to July 30th at all Burt's Auto Parts locations. Buy 4 or more Liqui-Moly engine oils or 4 transmission oils, you get a free LM40 all-purpose cleaner. But hurry up, the offer runs while stocks last and conditions apply. Forget ordinary, think Liqui-Moly, and remember, it hurts if you don't check Burt's.
There is hope.
Life can feel overwhelming at times, but you don't have to face it alone. The Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church is here to support you with our caring and confidential telephone counseling service. Whatever you're going through, grief, stress, family challenges, or just feeling stuck, our trained counselors are ready to listen, pray, and guide you toward hope and healing. Take the first step today. Call us at 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Help is available through the Prayer and Counseling Ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Remember, help is just a phone call away. That's 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Call now and let us walk this journey with you.
Happy, 'cause you have strayed.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, according to media reports, the JCF has issued 412,566 traffic tickets between, or should I say 412,566 traffic tickets between January 1 and July 24, 25, which amounts to a 32,000 increase from the same period last year. And this surge reportedly reflects the police's intensified efforts to improve road safety, with speeding, lane violations, and improper overtaking being major areas of focus. So, what are we to make of these increases, and will they really improve safety on our roads? To answer these and other related questions, we have online Assistant Commissioner of Police, Dr. Gary Mackenzie. He's the head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, and Dr. Lucien Jones, Vice Chairman of the Road Safety Council. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Could you say good morning again? I'm not hearing you so clearly. Good morning again, gentlemen.
Good morning to you. Are you hearing?
Yes, hearing you now, DCP. Dr. Jones with us?
Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning,
Great. Thanks.
ACP.
Right, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Dr. Jones.
Yes. I begin with you, ACP Mackenzie. A reported increase of over 32,000 traffic tickets between January 1 and July 24 of this year. Why is that so?
Well, one of the core responsibility of the police is to ensure that laws are abided with. And the road traffic law is one such law for which the police have to ensure that persons abide with. Now, it is very important that the police pay attention to the road traffic law in view of what is happening on our streets. We have behaviors certainly that are against the law, and we recognize that we also have a problem with road deaths to date, 241. And so that is one of the ways in which we have to, try to ensure that the law is abided with.
Yeah. And I ask because there's a view out there, as you perhaps know, ACP, that increased ticketing is a means of adding to the government coffers. What's your response to that?
Well, the fact of the matter is that any type of laws, whether it be road traffic or otherwise, it attracts fines and penalties. I would not say that that argument holds true. The fact of the matter is that if the police do not take action, then of course the public will complain. In fact, there are some persons within the public sphere who believe that we are not doing enough and more needs to be done. So we have to carry out our enforcement activities as we seek to do our part in terms of trying to ensure that public order prevails and safety in particular on the road is obtained.
Yeah, so there's no quota out there on a daily basis where they must issue X number of traffic tickets. It's not
No,
that arrangement.
that cannot and will never be the charge to the police.
Okay.
The charge to the police is that they are to go out there, maintain law and order. And if you place a police patrol in an area where offenses are committed and no action is taken, then that police officer or police patrol team would have been negligent. And so the charge is to go out there, maintain order. Where persons breach the law, then we expect that action will be taken.
Yes. Dr. Jones, what are the latest figures in regards to road fatalities and how do they square when compared with last year so far?
Well, ACP just gave you one. So far, we have 241 deaths, which is 1% more, and I emphasize more, than last year, 239.
How much percent more?
1%.
One. Okay.
And at a time when, I don't know if you recall, when the year started, like late January, early February, we were as high as 20% less. So there has been a dramatic reversal in the downward trend compared to last year. Remember, last year we had 425 deaths, and we were hoping for this year that we'd have a significant downturn. Last year we had 365, coming down from 425 the year before. So there's been a trend over the last couple of years going downward, but that trend has been arrested, and I use the word emphatically. Arrested by bad behavior. We are a popcorn country, unruly people. So when I hear this kind of nonsense about quota and no quota, if you don't commit a crime, if you don't transgress the law, then police can't charge you. You can't get a ticket. If you don't drive over 80 on the Mandela, you can't get a ticket. If you don't drive over 110 on the highway, both highways, you can't get a ticket. If you don't overtake careless, you can't get a ticket. So we need to understand very clearly the culture in which we live, and the express purpose of road safety advocates working very closely with the police. It's to try and save people's lives and prevent injury. And people need to understand that when you're on the road, it's a very dangerous place. The kind of behavior that is taking place on our road is outrageous. I got a letter from, and I shared it with ACP, a letter from a quote-unquote perturbed Jamaican, citing 3 instances of outrageous behavior on the part of taximen and others. And we're not targeting taximen because it runs across the gamut of the entire driving public on the road. Pedestrians are crossing the road carelessly. People are driving without due regard to the road traffic. They are speeding. It's the number one thing, as ACP said and you said earlier. So that's our culture, and the only way we can deal with this is in a comprehensive manner, what we call a safe system approach. And one of the main aspects of the safe system approach is to have safe speed. And the police are so mandated and empowered to help us in this regard. Public education helps. Discussion like this on your program helps. I don't believe that the audience listening to us, the religious audience, are part of the problem. But they can make their voices heard in the community. They can speak, they can share, they can be a voice of concern about what is happening in our country. So we need to face up to the reality that what is happening on Jamaican roads is madness.
Yeah.
And we need to put a stop to it.
Yes. Gentlemen, we are up on a break. We'll be right back.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan, you know. I further my education and I make mama proud.
Say so you can make the par, travel far, graduate like a star.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Turn the flame up and take it to 100.
This summer we're turning up the love across Jamaica. It's the Double the Love Summer Tour with Love 101.
Everything I talk about.
Join us in 5 parishes for live broadcast of the Gospel Train and Youth Connection, plus community cook-offs, family sports, games, and good vibes from Portmore to St. Thomas, Manchester, Mobile, and Kingston.
I'm about to have a good day.
We're spreading faith, fun, and fellowship island-wide. And it all ends with a big back-to-school grand finale in Kingston. The Double the Love Summer Tour, powered by Love 101, the family station. Don't you miss it.
God made the universe, knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And this is the first watch we're looking on traffic ticketing and road safety. In so doing, we have online Dr. Lucien Jones, Vice Chairman of the Road Safety Council, and ACP Gary McKenzie, Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Dr. Jones, the latest figures that you quoted, just to be clear, it's a 1% increase over last year. Is it going in the right direction or not?
It's going in the absolutely wrong direction.
Wrong direction.
Absolutely.
So
and I repeat again, early in the year we're as much as 20% below last year, and that has been whittled away to 1% above last year. So we don't want to be anything above last year. We want to be way below last year.
Yeah.
In fact, the goal of the National Road Safety Council, the target set by the World Health Organization for all countries during the year of action, decade of action for road safety 2020 to 2030, is a 50% drop. And when we look at our data in terms of what happened in 2020, we would need to go down to about 220 to achieve that target.
Yeah.
And we are already at 241 for the year.
So if it's going in the wrong direction, and we are now seeing an increase in traffic ticketing, what does that say?
That's an excellent question. And I know you're going to ask that one. So here's the thing now. The responsibility for and the ability of the police by themselves to reduce injuries and deaths on the roads is not a fair one. They have a great responsibility, but the police alone can't do this. Tickets alone cannot do this. That's why we have a comprehensive approach, an embracing approach, and it's safe roads, safe speeds, safe vehicles, safe road users, and an efficient post-crash system. So the police can help a lot with safe speeding, but they can only work with the tools they have. And one of the challenges we have now is that one of the arms that we can pull, one lever we can pull, which is the demerit point system. So if you commit an infraction and it attracts demerit points, and you have sufficient on your license, you can have your license suspended, and that's a major deterrent factor. That system is not working as efficiently as we want it, so that needs to be plugged.
Yeah.
Plus, in addition to police out there detecting, we need to embrace the use of technology. That's happening all over the world. We're already embracing it for crime and violence. We need to have as many cameras on the road detecting infractions, sending tickets. So that's safe speeds. Plus, you need a comprehensive public education program to work in unit, in tandem with police activity. That is going to happen. We haven't had any money for some time. The Ministry of Transport has received some funds from the ticketing system, and that money is going to be used for public education. So that's going to happen. Plus, we need to have safe road users. People need to buckle up when they go in the car. Police stopping you is after the fact.
Yeah.
If you don't buckle up and you meet in a crash, you stand to die. Seatbelt saves lives. If you don't put on your helmet and you meet in a crash, you can die. Helmet saves lives. The data is very clear. We need safe roads, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So it's not because of any lack of effort by the police why we're having this problem. It's because we need a systems approach, and all parts of the system need to function at the same time.
Yeah, let me just bring back in ACP McKenzie on this same point, because along with the increase in traffic ticketing, we have had, I believe, more stringent laws in regards to road usage over the past couple of months and years. How is it that we are not going in the wrong direction from your perspective, ACP Mackenzie?
All right. So I just want to give you an additional information in terms of also what we have been doing, and I'm going to be very pointed about that question. So as Dr. Jones said, up until about March, we were doing pretty well. The last 3 months have been very bad, especially in the month of July, where we have increase in traffic. Well, more so the number of deaths within vehicles when we have crashes, and that have caused the numbers to escalate. And you rightly asked about the number of tickets, and we have to continue to do that, especially for movable offenses. But in addition to that, one of the things that we have done is start to execute warrants where persons fail to go to court, to the extent that up to August 13 this year, we had executed some 15,339 warrants.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire year last year, we executed some 13,527. So that tells you that we have executed more warrants already this year than the entire year last year. And that, of course, is in aid of getting more people to comply. And I have to say that we are actually getting more warrants from the courts in much more timely manner to execute. And we have been executed, hence the numbers that I am communicating. As Dr. Jones said, we have to have a more holistic approach. And there are a number of things that still need to be tightened up. So in addition, and when he talks about the safe system approach, certainly the environment is one area in which we have to look at. So a person gets his or her driver's license. They may do a short period of preparation for that driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
They are tested and they get the driver's license. But driving is a continuous process of learning. What has happened is that the person, when they go out there on the street, the information they have on the road network in terms of marks, signs, and so on, we have to improve with that. And that's where the public education in terms of all the other platforms, traditional media, is important. But continuously seeing what they should do on the roadway is also something which is important. I have seen gradual improvement, but we need to do much more. So that is a part of the process.
Yes.
And of course, we have to use technology. Dr. Jones mentioned about, the use of surveillance cameras
Yes.
and the prosecution. Whilst we have been doing that to solve a number of crimes as well as incidents having to do with traffic, we have to move, for example, to especially our roadways where we have a lot of crashes, where we start to look at using our electronic technology to assist on a continuous process. And I believe that in very short order, we have the legal framework already. And I dare say that, very soon we should move in that direction to see how best we can curtail that.
Yes. And I guess you could argue that if all of these measures were not in place, perhaps the figures would be worse than they are now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Perhaps we'll be wrapping with you, Dr. Jones. Yes, those who are wondering if the Road Safety Council has ever given thought to at least for 1 year not making public the figures in terms of road fatalities. And I guess the argument is coming that over the years that has been done, but we have not really seen the impact positively that we would like.
Yeah, I mean, there are classic words to describe that kind of argument, being reductionist. No, I don't share that view.
And why not?
Information in life, in today's world, 21st century, is key. Information is power. How you use that information and how you use that information to change people's behavior is more the problem than the abundance of information. And this is a challenge we face in our country, where people's behavior on the road is an extension of their behavior generally. And that's a bigger challenge we face. Mm-hmm. We have a set of people in Jamaica who are resistant to behaving in the way that they ought to. And it spills out on the road. You have people who are intent on drinking and driving. You have people who are intent on smoking ganja and driving. You have people who have no regard for wearing a helmet and driving on a motorcycle, and they die. So that's the kind of challenge we face. And the lack of information in the country generally, because what information does from my point of view, and should do, is to put road safety almost at the same level that our country is required to be mobilized as crime. Mm-hmm. Because road fatalities constitute the second leading cause of violent death in the country.
Right.
So if you don't issue the warning, if you don't share the data, the entire country will not be mobilized. And police alone cannot manage it. It's not a police matter by itself. It's a public health matter. So in the same way you mobilize a country to deal with COVID and HIV, AIDS, etc., and non-communicable diseases, you have to take the same approach.
Are you saying that you don't feel that mobilization is there in regards to traffic safety?
In part, and for several reasons, yes. I would say that without a doubt. We need to do a lot more. ACP does say it. We need to do a lot more when it comes to road safety in the country. We don't take it as seriously as we take other things. Mm. And that's been a challenge for us over the years. Yeah. And we are up to the challenge in terms of commitment and looking at the long term. So it's a long term project.
Yeah.
It's a long term.
Be not weary in well doing, gentlemen, in this long term project.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And we appreciate the work that both of you do and your team of workers. Have a safe and productive day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Family Tree Hardware. With the lowest price and the best quality, we care. We are helping to build Jamaica a place to live. At Family Tree. Tree. Call us at 668-3341. At Family Tree. Tree.
Family Tree Hardware, Lot 7 Elshire Main Road, Brayton, St. Catherine.
We're in the hurricane. Start your journey with a JN Small Business Loan with small business loans as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. The time by JN Small Business Loan is
7:30.
We're in the hurricane season and the hottest time of the year. But no worries, Lanco has you covered. By the way, you're covered with Lanco Cool Guard or Urethanizer roof coating yet? Use Lanco roof coatings to waterproof your roof and also benefit from a cooler home with our advanced Thermoflex technology. Get 10 to 20% discount on Lanco Urethanizer and Cool Guard roof coating island-wide this hurricane season. Lanco, your waterproofing expert.
Blessings from this is Sound G, and you can listen to my new song Rescue Me right here on Love 101 FM, the family station. This song is about God always being there, for He has rescued us from the kingdom of darkness and transferred us into the kingdom of His dear Son. Colossians 1:13. Stand it up!
It's back to school and time to do the math. Limited funds divided by big school fees.
Stretched budget minus book list, backpack, and new uniforms.
With Sagicor Bank Back to School unsecured loan, you can borrow up to $5 million. No security needed. Fast approval. Up to 5 years to repay. And flexible loan options.
Problem solved, Dad.
Crown.
Thanks, Daddy.
Be crowned a Back to School champion parent with Sagicor Bank unsecured loans. Apply at sagicor.com. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In both newspapers, PNP says it will review the Beach Control Act, expand the Senate, and create fixed election dates and term limits should it form the next government. Also, JLP leader Prime Minister Holness urges Jamaicans to consider performance and achievements instead of emotion and tradition when they decide which political party should form the next government. Also, Parliament to officially dissolve on August 15, sections of Green Island under curfew, and Guyana among 23 nations added to UK's Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme. Those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll share some of the feedback from our social media question. Are you okay with the practice of cremation? Tell us why. And we're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
If you want $10,000 to spend this summer, what would you spend it on?
Something nice. I'd book our family dream vacation, theme park, or an all-inclusive.
I'd pay off my student loan and start my master's program.
I'd go shopping and get a whole new wardrobe.
They've got plans. What's yours? Use your NCB Visa credit card. Every 25,000 Jamaican dollars you spend is a chance to win $10,000. Something nice for the summer. Promotion ends September 14. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act of Jamaica.
Back to school, I'm just a chill, sir. School fee paid, books bought. Thanks to CNWJ Back to School Special. I borrowed $100,000 at an interest rate of 14.99% and pay less than $10,000 for 12 months. This couldn't miss me.
Get your child classroom ready. Start the school year strong with a CNWJ Back to School Special from August 1 to September 30. Low processing fee. Approval within 24 hours. Conditions apply. CNWJ Credit Union. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Turn the flame up and take it to 100. This summer we're turning up the love across Jamaica. It's the Double the Love Summer Tour with Love 101.
Everything a double.
Join us in 5 parishes for live broadcast of the Gospel Train and Youth Connection, plus community cook-offs, family sports, games, and good vibes. From Portmore to St. Thomas, Manchester, Mobile, and Kingston.
I'm about to have a good day.
We're spreading faith, fun, and fellowship island-wide. And it all ends with a big back-to-school grand finale in Kingston. The Double the Love Summer Tour, powered by Love 101, the family station. Don't you miss it.
God made the universe, knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood.
welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jokal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. Are you okay with the practice of cremation? And tell us why. Jokal?
All right, so we have a response from Sherry in Spanish Town. Sherry says the practice of cremation is not a practice I am into or interested in. Also, where would the body be kept after cremation? But to each his own, not interested in that practice.
All right, that's it? Okay, thank you, Cherry. Asking a very pointed and poignant question right there. Where will the body be kept? Okay. Well, as we segue listeners into the second watch, according to a recent Gleaner report, a Colorado funeral home owner has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud after sending fake ashes to grieving families and defrauding the federal government out of nearly $900,000. Now, her husband had previously pleaded guilty to the same charges and was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his role in the scandal. And both were accused of storing, and listen to this, nearly 200 decomposing bodies in a room temperature building between 2019 and 2023. And they did so instead of cremating them as promised. They also sent some customers dry concrete instead of ashes, and spent customer payments and federal funds on luxury items. Wow. So, what are the concerns and complications arising from that report? Well, to give us their perspectives, we have joining us in this, the second watch, Mr. Calvin Lynn, President of the Jamaica Association of Certified Embalmers and Funeral Directors, as well as the Reverend Dr. Howard Gregory, former Archbishop of the West Indies. Good morning to you both.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. Yes, morning. Thanks for joining us. Gentlemen, this topic. What are your opening comments on the aforementioned newspaper report? Beginning with you, Mr. Lynn.
Okay, I have not read it. I just that I'll say from my point of view, as one who has been in the business for 51 years. You said it happened in Colorado?
Yes, sir.
Well, should that be true, all I can say, whatever punishment is meted to those people, they deserve it. I would say they are unscrupulous, they are cheats to the highest order. The funeral industry is a dignified profession. In JA that I can speak about, we have crematoriums. And the procedure is that the relative of the deceased, as the applicant, has to sign a form applying for cremation. The signature to be witnessed by a justice of the peace. The medical doctor who would issue the certificate of the cause of death would fill out a form. If not, if it is a tragic death, the burial order would suffice when the autopsy is conducted. The medical officer of health for the parish comes in next. Then the police will give the final order for cremation. Because when you know it remains cremated, you get cremated remains, which is commonly called ashes. Okay, that's an old-time word. Good. Hear me now. When we, as I can attest to, plural, even my members and my establishment in particular, we carry out the rules to the T. Because we have a reputation to maintain, and we are not in this business for quick money, as some would think. We are in the funeral industry to provide the proper and professional and dignified services to the grieving relatives. So I would have heard from time to time people would question, did we get back the cremated remains of our loved one? And they'd ask me. They'd ask my staff at our establishment. And to me, I believe that would be a general question. And I would say, no, knowing what I know, the answer is yes. Because sometimes the relatives would even ask that they visit the crematorium to see when the loved one remains is being cremated, things like that.
Hold that point right there, Mr. Lynn, because I want to drill down a little bit more on that. But I want to bring in Reverend Dr. Howard Gregory for his opening thoughts on the article, the newspaper report.
Thank you very much, Rev.
Yes, sir.
A couple of things, because I think this is a multifaceted issue. First of all, cremation is a legitimate means of disposing of the dead. It is practiced more in some cultures than others. Even within our region, in places like Guyana, you will see that because of the predominant Indian population, that cremation is very much a part of their culture and religious orientation. Mm-hmm. More and more people are opting for it in Jamaica. So it's legitimate. On the other hand, the way in which this case comes to the fore raises some serious questions about how we understand human beings and treat human beings in life, but also in death. There is a respect and a value that is attached. Clearly, what is happening in this particular case is that the money is what is important and the disregard for the value. And I would suggest that where you see that in persons, the disregard showed to the deceased relatives would probably carry over in how they deal with human beings in life. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's also a criminal aspect to it in terms of the fraudulent thing that has taken place. But also, it's the pain of the family in terms of grief. What does it mean to you to have your loved one disposed of in those ways? Just dumped, and also the deception, because it's going to reopen all of those wounds again in terms of lost grieving. So those are just some of the issues which I think come to the fore as we look at this particular situation. I'm sure there are some others as well.
Yes. Thanks, Olin.
That is proper.
Yes. Yeah. And so, gentlemen, we are up on a break. On the other end of the break, we'll be right back with your thoughts.
Don't let freshness ditch you when you need it the most. Wash your clothes with Downy Softener to keep dazzling everyone around you from day to night. Try Downy Softener now.
If you love good food, fun, and time with family, make a good move to the 2025 Grace Food Festival. Join us on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Hope Gardens. We've got something for the whole family, live entertainment, Kiddies Village, sponsors booths, delicious meals, and much more. Tickets cost $1,000 pre-sold and $1,500 at the gate for adults, with free entry for children under 12. See you at the 2025 Grace Food Festival.
Get ready to take a trip down memory lane this Throwback Thursday. Inside Alive 1 to 5 with yours truly, Sarah and the Chirpy One. Tune in at 1:45 for a whirlwind of wordplay with Menticize. Prayer Warriors unite, fuel your faith and ignite your spirit at 2 p.m. with Prayer Blast. At 2:15 inside Piece of the Past, we look at something from the past. At 3 p.m., take a musical trip back in time with our Throwback Thursday playlist. At 4:30, stick and stay for more fun coming your way as Auntie Vashti wraps things up with the Small People Show. All this and more will come alive this Throwback Thursday with me, Sarah and the Chirpy One on the family station, Love 101.
Come on now, boom. Everybody, boom. Come on now, boom.
Make a good move move to the Grace Food Festival, August 23rd, Hope Gardens. Children under 12 enter free. The time by Grace Food Festival is
7:45.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and this is the second watch. We are looking about on the whole matter of cremation and the concerns therein. And in so doing, we have online the Reverend Dr. Howard Gregory, former Archbishop of the West Indies, as well as Mr. Calvin Lynn, President of the Jamaica Association of Certified Embalmers and Funeral Directors. Back to you, Mr. Lynn. Paraphrasing on my part, I think I heard you saying that if someone or persons have asked, is it really the remains of their loved ones? And I think I heard you saying that you would say to them, yes, right? In the Jamaican context. How do we know that it's not dry concrete or the remains of other deceased individuals, even mixed up with the intended ashes?
That we have been dealing over the years. They are reputable firms, and we can guarantee to an extent. Let me explain this to you. Dried concrete or whatever, marl, sand is different from cremated human remains. Let me tell you a little bit.
How will the family members know the difference? How will the family members who are not a part of the funeral industry know the difference? I'm just asking how they know the difference.
Well, I'm trying to explain.
Mm-hmm.
No. The cremated remains of a human being. Why I try to change the word and don't say ashes is not ashes.
Mm-hmm.
That was the old time thing.
Mm-hmm.
The cremated remains is mostly the bones that you crush up. It's oily. Because you know oil is in the bones of human, animals, etc. So there's a difference between some that is looking dry and some that is looking oily. So at times the cremated remains is at the most is returned to us in a container, and the relatives use an urn, and we would have to pour it out in the urn for the relatives. So we know the difference.
What about the possibility of it being mixed with the remains of others?
No. The bodies are in separate containers at the crematorium. You don't put them together like you put a bundle of wood and set fire to it. You see, people need to be educated about this thing. And there's no problem.
That's why I have
because people need to know.
That's why I have in the program, Mr. Lynn.
Exactly.
Right. And you are saying you are pretty much, you sound as if you are pretty certain that those things don't happen in Jamaica, that happen in Colorado.
Well, I would say yes to that. Because you see, some people believe that Jamaica is so small and poor and worthless that we'll do anything for $1. When it is the opposite, as in this case.
Okay. All right, Dr. Gregory, just in case, Dr. Gregory, anything you'd like to say on that matter?
Yes. Mr. Lynn does know me. I know Mr. Lynn.
Oh, yes, Bishop.
They have been
Anglican and Anglican.
From up at Christiana.
Yeah.
What we're raising here is an issue of trust and credibility.
Yeah.
A concern that has been raised is the extent to which the government is regulating all those who are dabbling in the funeral industry at the moment.
That is shortcoming.
There are reputable companies, but there are persons who are involved walking around with a suitcase and are representing themselves. And therefore, there is a level of accountability which we need to step up in this country so that people can be assured that what Mr. Lynn talks about happens across the board. the accountability thing is one that we really need to look at. The other thing I think we need to look at as we discuss this, a lot of Jamaicans are spending so much money on funerals that they end up being in debt at the end of the day. Cremation is an option which is more affordable and which increasingly more people are opting for this. As Mr. Lynn said, there needs to be more education around it. But I think that some people, depending also on their theological perspective, may have, and it may just be aesthetic, have some reservations about it. But increasingly, it is an option that is available. And I think more of our people need to think about it, discuss it with their pastors and others, so that they don't run themselves into debt around funerals when they can dispose of their loved one in a way that is dignified, respectable, and speak to the worth of their deceased family member.
Okay. Dr. Gregory, I've raised two things there that I had in my mind to explore. So let me just go there first with Mr. Lynn. Mr. Lynn, the average cost of doing a cremation versus a casketed burial. And anecdotally, what is the ratio in terms of family requests? No.
There's an increase in the cremation request application because, as stated by Lord Bishop, yes, the economics of the day and so on. And because, when you have the conventional burial, you have to have a casket and the spot, the vault, whatever, to be the body to be placed in.
Can you give us an average cost?
I would say cremation could be maybe 60% of the average cost.
60?
Yes, it all depends.
Okay. And the request now, are you able to hazard a guess in terms of the ratio? How many persons, perhaps by percentage?
I would say the increase could be as much as 30%, maybe 40%, vis-a-vis, say, 10 years ago.
Oh, so you're saying 60%? I'm trying to understand. 60% are requesting the casketed burials, and the 40% are requesting cremation.
Yes, it's like that.
Okay.
It's an estimate, as you know.
Okay. So the average persons, then, most persons are still going for the casketed burials.
Yeah, the convention, because, our culture is different from others. And apart from the economical side of it, most Jamaicans prefer to see their loved ones buried. And at times they use Jesus' example. He was buried, he wasn't cremated.
Happy you go there.
Things like that.
Happy you go there, because that segues to my question to Reverend Dr. Gregory. Reverend Dr. Gregory had mentioned earlier about the theological aspect of it. What's your response to those who contend that there is little or nothing that they see in the Christian Bible which supports cremation? And when bodies are burnt, it seems to have been associated with damnation, curses, or misfortune.
I don't know. I think that is well. No, I don't have that issue. I think some of our ideas are fixed around what we conceive of the next life to be like, and somehow there's a perception that when you cremate, you're destroying some aspect of the person that will be part of the next life.
Right.
And I think we still need to help our people understand that the next life, certainly as I understand it in biblical things, there's a notion of the seed that dies and something else that grows, that we're not going to see our relative whose body was cancer ridden come back in the next life looking like that, or the amputation look like that. So that whether we are buried as a physical body with skeleton or we are cremated, I really don't think that it really matters. I think it's a personal choice. We will and meet our God if we have lived a faithful life, whether we have been cremated or we have been put in a grave or we have been buried at sea.
Yes. And so as we wrap, gentlemen, our discussion, what are your closing words of advice to our listeners, especially in light of our discussion?
Well, I'll say, as our Bishop mentioned about the quality operators, directors, I'll tell you that the government of it is to be blamed. For 8 years now, we're trying to get them to regulate the industry, not to keep out anybody, to make sure people are held accountable.
Let me get you right, Mr. Lynn. It's not being regulated now? Is that what you're saying in any way?
In shape nor form.
What?
As president of the association, I've been thrown to the left by the Ministry of Health. I've been thrown to the right by the Ministry of Local Government. Nobody will take responsibility. And any minister from those ministries challenge me, and I'll bring proof to the public. They are not doing anything about it. When it's not me, it's you. When it's not you, it's me. You know, them toss and turn thing. That's all I'll say at this time.
Well, so says Mr.
Until we get the regulation through to get the people accountable and answerable, should there be any deficiency, we're going to probably have worse than this.
All right.
We don't know. I'm not predicting doom.
Again, those are the views of Mr. Calvin Lynn.
Yes.
Reverend Dr. Gregory, your take on the matter. Anything you'd like to say to our listening audience?
Yeah, I would just say that there are some anecdotal things that go around that suggest that not everybody's experience with these funeral homes that are springing up is a positive one. Okay. But I would also say I would encourage Jamaicans, Christian or not, to think about the way in which we have gone about funerals and the burial of our dead, and to see cremation as a viable option which still is respectful of the deceased. But we must pay attention to the wishes of the deceased, because some people ask for it and the family don't want to do it, and some don't do it and the family, the person who is deceased, never wanted it.
Right.
So pay attention.
That's correct.
Right. And I guess family members, when they're alive, should be clear in their expressions and their desires in that regard. I mean,
yeah, but as Lord Bishop just said, sometimes it's written and sometimes the requests are not honored.
Yeah, yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. Informative.
Have a good day.
Take
care.
We're talking with you both.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, to God be the glory.
Bless
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information or get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-959627. This, of course, has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Sonia Stewart, and our guests. Please join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. I'm Dylan Toussaint, reminding you to be purposeful, faithful, thankful, and, of course, watchful as I hand you back to Love in the Morning.